Or I guess I could just say good morning. Oh man, my chat changed back. Crappy. Just putting the good word out, everybody. Alright. My coffee is delayed this morning. So currently it's just keyboards. Not keyboards and coffee. But I'm doing something new. Well, not new for me, just, you know, new for the channel. And that's a different coffee. How's everybody doing this morning? This is actually small too. This is only 2U instead of 225. And I don't really ever use this shift, so this doesn't bother me at all. And the 2U shift doesn't bother me either. The only issue that you run in with is that because this is a 2U shift, it moves your bottom row 0.25U that way, which can cause you to make some typos until you get used to it. But yeah, this is actually the first thing that I was gonna actually chat about. Just kind of rolling us off with some, since today is kind of a Hall effect morning. This like a few weeks ago, I had ordered the Mellatrix mystery box for their anniversary, and I was gonna open it on stream, but when it got here, because I paid $70 for the main big mystery box, and then because of that, I got a slight discount on the $10 mystery box, so I got one of those. And then because they there was another thing that you can do where you could get another small mystery box for free, so I did that. So I was expecting a big mystery box and 2 small mystery boxes, plus the plate and PCB to be able to use this with a Wooting PCB module. Well, when the box got here, it was like this big and like this tall. That tall? Probably about that tall. And I'm like, well, that doesn't seem like, you know, that much. So now I have to open it. So I open it, and first of all, there were no mystery boxes in my mystery box, which kind of irks me. I like the experience of opening the actual mystery boxes themselves. Maybe it's just me, but it's something about the experience, which is understandable because what was in the mystery box was the actual Flux 60 PCB with switch module, which came in this gold box. And this gold box. And then it was because this module comes with just the GH60 compatible plate. So the second, or the first small mystery box was the plate so that I could use their module in their keyboard, which seems kind of weird. And then the second second mystery box was essentially 20 of their red switches. So these. Now, if I remember correctly, these switches are kind of expensive. I don't think that they're UFO expensive, but so I probably won't get a whole keyboard of these, but we'll take a look at them a little bit later. When we're looking at some stuff. But yeah, so all in all, yeah, I spent about $100 and got about $220 because the PCB module with the switches itself. And let's do our normal window capture. New. Okay. So this is our keyboard. I think somewhere in here they had it. Oh, I could just search for Flux 60. So, yeah, with the Flux 60, it's $200. So this was the $200 add-on, and then the switches. Switch. The red ones aren't even on here, but they are diamond switches because they have this unique diamond shape. So that's weird. Nope. Apparently I don't get to know where that is. Oh. Who we got? What's up, WizTech Gamer and Fede? How are y'all doing today? Oh. It's Kevin. We're gonna do a couple of things kind of in order. This is the board that I'm using, so if you wanted to use the exclamation point keyboard, you'll be able to see that. We're gonna set it off to the side though, put it back in its hard case. More importantly, where's my coffee? I'm gonna go grab my coffee real quick because it was still brewing, and I will be right back. Okay. Oh, look, nice. I'm back. Nice streak. Today's coffee is not community coffee. Today's coffee is our Geek Grind Goblin's Greed coffee. Geek Grind is the company. This is a single origin medium roast coffee. And yeah. But we're going to be starting not with the HE, but with the Nex Pro. It's a collaboration with Ajaz and Epomaker, which is like having a collaboration with yourself, kind of, but okay. Don't you worry. Yeah, they sent this to me with no expectation. You're making espresso. I'm not an espresso fan. I don't know why. It seems like I would like the espresso since it's more caffeine. But do you have a good espresso machine? I think you do, right? Didn't we talk about this? So this has a 8,000 hertz polling rate, as well as a PAW 3950 sensor, which is better than the 3395 sensors that we were seeing on a lot of mice these days. Yeah. It's heavier than a lot of the gaming mice that are out there, at around 65 grams. And we're going to compare it to the Ajaz AJ159, which is what I use right now. So we get the mouse in this silver color. I'm not sure how long this silver color is going to last. And I think this is the base for it. Oh. There's an arrow pointing to which side you should open, and I immediately opened the other side, so that makes sense. Oh. Well, I only have the 1 cup of coffee a day, but it is a sizable cup of coffee. So here's the module. It looks very similar to our current AJ159 module. This one has light accents on the side. This one, the light accents run along the entire bottom. Yes. Yes, this. Or it could have also been a button. I would have enjoyed that. I'm not exactly sure why this is just empty space. But you have your 2.4, your USB, and your Bluetooth. Let's see what's in the other box. Is there anything else? That side's. Let's see about this. So we get our cable, which I assume will support that. We get our extra skates. And okay, extra skates. Instruction manual, and of course a sticker set. These stickers are important because they will go around, and this is what I was talking about earlier, so this is nice to see. You can put them on the mice to make it so that you don't wear. Like you can see on mine that there's a little bit of wear here, a little bit of wear here. Not so much on the sides yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Because I actually had stickers on the sides and the top. 2 sets are good. I gotta find my other set. But yeah. We should put a set on right now. Ooh, this is an interesting. The other one, the one for the AJ159 had texture. This is just soft. So it's almost like a foam. I might really enjoy that. I'm gonna go ahead and mess this up now because that's how I roll. Yeah, I messed it up. What a surprise. So if you want to keep the silver clean aesthetic look, it's gonna have a timetable on it. So this, like I said, is going to protect one side. One. Yeah, I missed this one too. All right, close enough though. Yeah, so there we go. That's trash. And then we should have a peel on our skates down here. I think, yeah. Always remember to peel your skates, or else you get drag. Like this plastic, this drags on your desktop like no man's business. So you get a second set of skates, so that's nice. You get a second set of foams, which is nice, but keep track of it. Yeah, I think it actually feels better. The sound is much higher pitched. Let me turn this off. I don't want to go clicking around things. Than the AJ159. That is trash. Here our manual. I'm not going to use this cable now, although I might actually use that cable on other things because of the 8K polling rate, they have to use higher end USB cables. So that would be good for anything really. Put this all back in here. What I use right now is a Google Pixel cable. And so that is...
found a couple places near you.
Nope. I have a Google. The AJ has this display on it, which I love, which shows an animated GIF under normal circumstances. So I'll miss that. But here's our RGB underglow. You can see here, it's a really good underglow if you are into that. And I think when you have it on the charger, it'll glow and show you that it's charging. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't forget the middle skate. Come on. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, you get a nice combination of everything. I'll have to work on that middle skate because I'll need some tweezers or something. We'll put our, and then we switch this to 2.4. You'll get our little light on the bottom. Went from red to green, lets us know that we're now connected, and we're good. It's bigger physically than the AJ159 by a little bit. The magnets are repulsing each other, so they don't want to be together. but you can see. So for my desk, this is fine. Okay. There's a button on the back. And by pushing it, there you go. Oh, I hit it again. Lots of modes. There we go. That's a good mode. All right. Yeah. And so we'll be using this for a while. And it really, the foam, because it's that foam, is not only a little bit soft, but it also grips your hand. So it makes it really easy to do which is good because, and we're going to come back to that, because we're going to look at the software. It's a web-based software, but I need a keyboard. So let's take a look at a keyboard. Here's the star of the show for today. This is the HE75V2 TMR edition. As the name suggests, it's a 75% keyboard with, so it has the function row at the top, you have some navigation, and you have an arrow cluster, along with your normal keys. And let's go ahead and see what's in this box. Keyboard cover. Don't need that. We'll take out our keyboard, but set it to the side for the moment. I said take out our keyboard and set it to the side for the moment. This is it's got decent weight. We have our manual. This is QR codes that take you straight to the manual, the software, and their Discord, which I highly recommend going to their Discord to hang out with me. Keycap switch puller and 4 extra creamy jade Hall effect switches. Someone mentioned that it would be nice if they had the mechanical versions in here as well, which I don't disagree with, but you're already getting a great deal, and their creamy jade mechanical switches are very inexpensive, and these are 2 keys, so the knob module is replaceable. If you don't care for the knob, you can get 2 more keys. Unfortunately, one of those keys that they chose to give you was insert, and you know, insert can go to hell. Then a braided cable, and that's it. Straightforward. This is pretty standard fare for them. We're actually going to put all of this back. We're going to leave the knob module in there, but we will likely see if, oh, and we'll go ahead and do this. Put our keyboard cover back in, and then get our box out of the way. So here is the black version of the keyboard. There is a white version as well. Yes. We'll look at that. Look at that. Bright RGB. It obviously looks much better in person. We have our translucent black keys. So you can see all of that sweet RGB, which is south-facing RGB. So it does not interfere with viewing the letters through the translucent keycaps. This is somewhat important. Now it uses, this is currently set to Bluetooth, which is why this is flashing like this. And if you wanted to make it so that it was going to connect, hold down the button. Now it's fast flashing, and we can connect it to our computer. We'll add a device, add a Bluetooth device. There you are. Now that's going to go solid, which it did. Done. And now I have a keyboard again. I would show you, but we'll see in a little bit. The points accumulate, and then it will show you your total. I think. So this knob module, I'm not exactly sure how it comes out, but it does. Because obviously, as with most of the, what's that? Some schmutz. Yeah, it was just dust. That's fine. Might have even been from my desk mat. So I know some of the other modules that come out were in the way that, let's see, get this underneath here. There you go. So I used a keycap puller. And you can see that it uses 2 sets of pins, one on each side. And then that exposes the 2 sockets, which you can then put extra keys in. I was saying that they give you the Hall effect, or the insert key, but I mean, you know, if you're using your own keycap set, it doesn't matter. Let's see, we went, I think, this way. Get it right the first time. Make sure that I'm putting it in right. I don't want to bend any pins, so be careful when you're putting it in or taking it out. There we go, and it clicks into place. Volume works again. We have an accent light down here as well. But let's go ahead and we're going to pause the music and we're going to do a starting typing test. So this is the completely stock version with the Creamy Jade Hall Effect switches, the polycarbonate UV print keycaps, and this is the Hall HE75 V2 TMR. that is the out of the box sound. So that is completely stock. We're gonna pop off our pop off connection. We're gonna switch it back to USB. That way it's not interacting with anything, because our main show for today, when we talk about using TMR, one of the biggest features, oh, thanks for the hydrate, I just did. One of the biggest features of the TMR is the ability to use both mechanical and Hall effect switches, and you can actually use them concurrently. So we can put, currently we have our HE switches in here. For instance, these guys right here. This is an FR4 plate, by the way. That also has like 6 or 7 layers of foam. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But here are a couple of, and so you'll see the differences, obviously. But aside from that, I mean, looking at them from the top, you would be more hard pressed to tell me which one is which, because they look pretty much the same from the top. The Hall effect version comes with a light diffuser, which is a pretty big indicator from the top of which one is which. So you can insert this, and now so you have both, and they will work together. The Hall effect version seems deeper, a little bit more plasticky, but we are actually gonna try something a little different. We do not want to do that. I have a jar. Because come on. Here. It depends on what you are looking for in a switch. When someone says that the mechanical feels better, I mean, that is generally accepted to be true. I find that Hall effect tends to be, in my experience, in my estimation, I guess I should say, smoother overall. They tend to use lighter switches in Hall effect as well. So that ends up being a big factor. I mean, the main problem that I've had with Hall effect switches hasn't been the feel so much as it's been the sound. I find that the sound department is where it tends to really start to show, and that has to do, I discovered recently, has to do a lot with the fact that the switches, since they have a magnet, it's essentially like the magnet, which is, you know, a rare earth metal, I think, hits the bottom, and that's part of what causes that traditional clackiness that one associates with Hall effect sound. So yeah, like I said, with the exception of the light spreader being missing on the mechanical keys, they look pretty much exactly the same. Ooh, don't go away. I need you later. I mean, I guess I have spares, because it came with spares. That's right. I think I put an adult warning on my channel, so, you know. I'm just going to take out the mechanicals and put them back in their container for now. Come here, you. Okay. You go away. When you're taking out yes, this was a gift from Unikeys. They sent this to me recently when they sent me some switches for the first time. This was from, wasn't sent to me by Gateron. I actually bought it from Gateron at CES this year, but you'll see that in taking out switches, I must have pushed too much stress here, and now it no longer acts as a keycap puller. Yeah, it broke. It broke pretty quickly, actually. So I enjoy it as a switch puller. I think it's probably, with the exception of the fact that it's chunkier, because this is my normal switch puller. This is the titanium Wuche Studio, and this is like $16 or $17 on Amazon. I love this one because it's thinner, but it's basically a titanium thing. These kind of scoop a little bit more at the bottom, so I find that they make it so that I damage the board less, like scratch it, because some of my plates, like the Haven 65, for instance, which is a red aluminum color matched plate. I was testing one of those like rectangular keycap switch puller combos where it slides on and then grips. That scratched the living heck out of my poor Haven red aluminum color matched plate, and I was very sad about this. Very sad about this. It's still beautiful and I still love it, but I know the scratches are there and it bugs me so much. You can't see it because there's keycaps and on it, and so what you see through the cracks of the keycaps is just that beautiful red aluminum. So it still looks totally gorgeous, but yeah, I know that underneath. And on normally I don't recommend taking out all your switches in a keyboard, because if it's using the switches as a friction fit on the keyboard, then your PCB can drop down. Hey, Klex. In the case of Hall Effect, that is not a consideration, because the Hall Effect PCBs are screwed into the plate to help with the stability, which you can always confirm by, if you look on here, you can see that dot. Let's see that dot. That is the anchor points for the poles that are screwed from the PCB into the plate. So unless you take it apart and take those screws out, which again, not going to happen on this guy. I mean, you can take this thing apart with a pry tool, something like this, which comes with a lot of stuff. I have a few of them. That's a brand new one. They get damaged pretty easily. They're soft plastic, which is by design. Okay, stretch. All right. Hey, you get to see my cool switch diagram t-shirt, which I love. There's a keyboard meetup today, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm bringing my entire Mellatrix family of keyboards. Thanks for the stretch there, Wiz. Actually, that really did help. I have a tendency to hunch, and so, and being an old person. What's up, Art Machine? I mean, you know, that's why there's the coffee with our coffee and keyboards. For those of you who missed, today is not a coffee with chicory, not a community coffee day. You know, that's the reason why I had to stop painting miniatures, because I would spend hours hunched over painting miniatures and it would destroy my back. Which sucks, because I have thousands of miniatures that are unpainted now. And like hundreds of paints. Oh, which reminds me, we're going to be doing a special art stream coming up for Amazon Prime Day. I did pick up the Era 75 by Womier, the one that comes with the stupid stickers. So here's the problem with me and standing desks. I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I have diabetic neuropathy in my feet. I can't stand still for very long periods of time, or it really, yeah, I'm a mess, man. Like, you know, when you're in your 50s, man, especially if you lived a good life in your 30s, you know, when you get to your 50s, you're like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done all that stuff. Maybe you shouldn't have fallen off a stage 3 times in one night. True story. All right. So for our first build on this, I wanted to try a classic. So these are, and it's cheating a little that I'm not comparing these to the Creamy Jades necessarily, because these are stock milky yellow mechanical switches, and these are stock milky yellow Hall effect switches. So again, you can tell these apart. Milky yellow mechanical switches have a more yellow stem, but from the top they are similar to the other ones, the Hall effects have light spreaders, so they're kind of made for RGB. So we're actually gonna drop you know, if you live your best life, it doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you do it. So I'm going to use some mechanical or some Hall effects in here. We're going to drop them in to our W, A, S, and D. The question is, should I, we're going to do this shift. We're going to leave the inner because I want to test it. We'll do the E and the R. Come on, go in. I have more different types of switches than Epomaker, and that's really only because they only have Epomaker switches. Alright, what else? What are our normal control keys for gaming? I got Shift, WASD, ER, Q, just this bank right here, and arrows. But I mean, when you compare me to like Mechanical Bionicle, I have very little switches. Mechanical Bionicle, by the way, is the one who runs Switch Oddities. If you're looking to try just individual switches, I recommend them. I also recommend Clackify, because they'll build these little little guys for you with whatever switches that you want, and I'll send it to you. So you have a little tester you can try out, which is cool. You end up paying more for individual switches than you would normally pay for whole sets. So in the long run, value may vary. All right, that is what we're going to do for Hall effect. Now we're just going to put in some. I think I have enough milky yellows to build out this whole board. I know I did, and then I put them in something. Now both of these are stock, and milky yellows are kind of mid stock, so that may be a factor here, which is why I'm saying don't compare them to the Creamy Jades, because the Creamy Jades are actually, both the mechanical and the Hall effect are really good out of the box. I have stopped getting B-Sun for the most part. The last B-Suns that I got actually were these. If you see behind me, these brown ones right here, they are the B-Sun Milk Tea Siam switches. They're a good soft thock that can, if with the right foams, lean very into creamy sounding. I have not grabbed golden apples. I kind of want to get some. And then actually the current, I know, that's why I want them, because I don't have anything PEI yet. I don't have any PEI plates. I don't have anything. You know, part of me wants to get the craze with a PEI plate, but because of my stupid work, being stupid and cutting my pay by 30%, that's not happening. I have to write that ship. Luckily, they did give me time. It's gonna be close. I might end up using Hall Effect on the function road just because I would be out of switches. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but for now, and as long as I'm working for the company I'm working for now, I am giving them the best employee experience that I can. I'm not somebody who gets bitter. Well, actually I am somebody who gets bitter, but I don't let it affect my job. They may have screwed me over, but I'm not screwing them over, because I'm a better person than they are. Because for me, I care about people, not money. Except for I need money to live. That's the only reason why I care about money. Which is why I need to become independently wealthy, so that I can make us into a Star Trek utopia, everybody. That's the goal. By the way, these sockets, and let me see, I should have said that before I picked up all these switches, because I wanted to show this off. They do not come pre-punched for mechanical. You can see that at the bottom, that sheet that's down there. There are no holes for the pins for the mechanical switches. The first time you put in a mechanical switch, it will punch out that pin for you. There is no discernible resistance because of that. So aside from the fact that you cannot see the holes until you punch it, there is no problem with that. I think I'll have enough. So it's interesting that these have light spreaders. Because they have milky housings, they should grab and transmit some of that light for you. Not unlike the HMX2 switches do. But we'll see, because, you know, we have translucent. And then we'll see how it varies when we get to the... Alright, look at that, with like 6 switches to spare. And we'll put our keycaps back on. There's our one. Now, I've not done this. Like, it's not something I did in advance to see how it would go. We're all going to learn about this at the same time. We know how the Creamy J's reacted, because we did that at the beginning. Which is deeper, a little bit more plastic. Oh, that's wrong. And this is the individual keycap puller that I use. That is the Akko keycap puller that comes free with most of their keyboards, or it used to. I don't know if it still does. Those things are great. They have a nice flat rounded handle with a finger hole, and the wires are alright. I mean, the only problem is that if you get repeated stress, the wire will flex and start to pull at the plastic, and it'll eventually break. But that's because it's free. I've gone through like 3 of these now. So technically this is a sponsored stream since Epomaker sent it to me, and they are allowing me to keep this board as they do with pretty much everything that they send me. So the Creamy Jade mechanical switches, they did not send me. I paid for those because you can get 100 of them for $20. That's 20 cents a switch. And for Prime Day, which, you know, you've missed now, but I'm sure it'll go back on sale at some point, they were $17. They were 17 cents a switch. That was crazy. If I didn't already have like 200 of them, I would have bought more. Because it's a good switch. Yeah, we'll just do these. Almost there. Thanks for staying with me through this. Yeah, and to be honest, these are not for, these are not for sale yet individually, but they are some of the better Hall effect switches that I've gotten, as opposed to the Gaterons, which everybody loves them, and I don't, well, I understand why, because at the time when they're coming out, they were great. Because compared to what else was on the market. Don't go very far. So first of all, let's see how that RGB is going to look. Boom. And so you can see there's more of a diffused glow. But you'd be hard pressed to necessarily tell me which ones are the Hall effect and which ones are the mechanical just by the glow, which is good. It just means that you can see here, if you look at the D and the F, this is a little bit broader, more even than this, where it's more focused towards the center. And that's because the bottoms of the mechanical versions there's no hole. The only holes that they have would be if you wanted to put through wires to actually seat an LED in here for some of the older stuff. But let's go ahead and pause the music, and we're going to do a sound test. Or we're going to do a couple quick sound things. So first things first, here is the mechanical switches in this board. There's a little bit of scratch. This is kind of what I expect from stock milky yellows. And then this is the Hall effects. So there is a significant difference here. This is much louder. Less subdued. Now, yeah. I mean, opinions vary. Maybe you like this muted sound. And again, when you lube and film your milky yellows, you end up with a really nice sound. There's a reason why they're such an iconic switch. But, you know, they're a product of their time. Their time was, I mean, Klex, when did the milky yellow come out? I think it might have been before I even started in the keyboard hobby, which was 2019. So that would have been about 7 years ago. So they've been around forever. But let's do a quick sound test. This is milky yellows, mechanical on everything but the QWER, the ASD, shift, space, and the arrow cluster. Those are Hall effect. So you'll hear that probably when we get to things like because I mean this one here. It's just that's how it sounds. So, it sounds good. Thanks for the hydrate. And I think we'll try the creamy jades next. So we're gonna pop off. One thing I love on this is that it makes it a lot easier for me to go ahead and switch it out. So we're gonna build. Oof. This is I mean, as far as what's the price point on this? Here, hold on. Let's go look. Let's go look at the sheet on this real quick. So, oh, there you go. Yeah, this keyboard normally $129, currently on sale for $109. I expect it's going to be on sale a lot, off and on. Like I said, it comes with, and it's a complete build. So, like we were talking at the beginning, I got just the module for the Zoom 64. Oh, the keycap puller. Yeah. They are not available on the Unikeys website. They came as an extra added thing when you bought so many of a particular keycap set, or when you bought a particular keycap set. I forget which. Hold on. UI told me. This was a switch pillar was a gift that comes with the modded switches. People get 90 or more and they receive it for free. Mango got hers from somewhere like Kibu or somewhere like that. Yeah, and in comparing this to the M1 V5 TMR by Akko, this is a better sounding board. For a number of reasons, even though this is a plastic, and that's going to work to its benefit in this particular case. This is an ABS plastic case, so whereas the Akko M1 V5 TMR is an aluminum case. Now, granted, the M1 V5 allows you to mod their keyboard because it's ball catch. Oof. One of the problems with using this is that, you know, if you have stiff switches, you're pulling 4 out at a time, and it doesn't want to come out. So, I am not looking forward to getting to the inner key. This is the reason why I did the milky yellows first instead of second, because based on what I know about stock milky yellows and stock Creamy Jades. I knew I was probably going to want to stick with, if I knew how to earn more subs, I would certainly do that, because I currently have, I think, 11 subs. So I'm not very good at the sub thing. For subs for YouTube, I think you are on the right path. Uh-oh. That fell on the floor. I think you make pretty engaging content, and it's pretty fun, and people seem to be responding well to it. So I would say just keep doing what you're doing. Partially, it's a numbers game, so you produce content, and just be consistent about it. And I think if you're not already well past me, you will definitely be well past me soon, because my content is too inconsistent on YouTube. Yeah, man, of course. Of course, this keycap puller only gets me so far, because there's these keys that are just too small. Or if you can't get a full row of 4 because there's blockers, then you can't use it. All right, so now we are going to pull off our lids. Take a lid off it. That should be put a lid on it. When you're taking out Hall effect switches, do be careful that you, because there's no pins and no guide center stem, it's very easy to break one or both of the pins that are there. Just break them off. Now, granted, you don't need them. There are switches out there already that just don't even have them. Spring pop. No, that's not pops of spring. What? All right, that should be all of our Hall effects. So you go back over here. Everything else is going to be mechanical. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Wiz. That's it's awesome that you stopped by, and I always appreciate you hanging out. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening, man. As always, I call everybody man, regardless of gender. It is not a gender designation. I'm old, and that is how I grew up. Everybody is man. If you... Yeah, no problem, man. I'll send pictures of the keyboard meetup later on today. So when you wake up in the morning, you'll probably have a bunch of pictures in the gallery of all the wonderful keyboards that I was able to see today. And the ones that I brought. Come on, come on. Come on. It's like not like giving birth at all, because, you know, that lasted about a minute. Man, these milky yellows. All right, come on, you. Do not want to come out of the plate. Reminds me of Gion Raws. Oh man, Gion Raws are worse. Ooh. After we do the initial sound test with the keyboard being built out with the mechanical and Hall effect creamy jades, I might try a different keycap set on here. Oh, almost there. All right, come on. Home stretch. Let's go, as Jason Mendoza says. And no one else. Just Jason Mendoza from The Good Place. And this last problem child. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have all of our milky yellows out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put in our creamy jade Hall effect switches. And we're going to do our whir. Which will lead us into our ASDF. Although I'm thinking kind of want to just do that, this entire section over here. So like this. Let's do that. Ooh, I have an idea. I was thinking about retro mixed lights, dark alpha on here, but then I had another thought. We could use ZX on here. It has a function row, so you'll get the use of the keys at the top. And then our arrows. All right, now we'll grab our mechanical creamy jades. Again, the easiest way to tell, right? I think they'll both look great on here, but I think that the way you can tell them easily is that these don't have light spreaders. The mechanical versions of the creamy jades do not have light spreaders on them, whereas the Hall effects do. But I think with the rainbow glow along the back, which you can change in the software, though, I don't know. I have retro mix lights up here, but I know exactly where my ZX is, so I could grab it pretty quickly. We are going to do these keycaps first, and then do a quick sound test. No, I think ZX. I think ZX is gonna look absolutely awesome on here. I don't know if that retro mix lights wouldn't look good, but not sound right. Come here, you. Yeah, that pin was gonna not go the right way. All right. One thing about Hall Effect, you don't have to worry about bent pens. Love that. Just need 6 more. No, 9 more. I can count, I promise. The product of the Louisiana educational system from the 80s. We had old math. I randomly grabbed 1 extra. Oh, so close. All right. Here we go. Well, you know, I think, I don't know that it's the new math's fault or the new literacy's fault. I think it's more of, you know, lack of emphasis on education. We do not take care of our teachers. We do not value our students. I mean, granted, I mean, teachers were never paid well. At least not in my lifetime. But now it's just getting worse. Right? Thanks, Pucka Pucka Butt. And then, you know, part of it is we're just not putting with the internet. Yeah, if you're a tenured professor, sure. I mean, that is where you want to be. You know, it's like having a government job. Except for government jobs don't actually pay as well. But the benefits are awesome. Almost there, everybody. Stay with me. Stay on target. Stay on target. Loosen up. That's right. Star Wars. Yeah. All right. So we have lights. Boom. Getting our blue light here. It is now connected to the Bluetooth. We've got our frame. Wow, you can, on here, it's actually even more defined. So the light spreader on here is definitely doing the heavy lifting for the Hall Effect switches. You can clearly see the difference between these two. Right? So all of these keys are Hall effect. These are not. This is, and our arrow cluster. Those are all Hall effect. Everything else in this keyboard is currently mechanical. Let's do a sound test, and then we're going to change the keycaps. So this is Hall effect, mechanical, and on the HE75V2 TMR. So these should all work and sound hopefully relatively the same. So you can definitely hear the difference. But when you're typing, it's less noticeable. So I think this is a good option if you want. Yeah, like in this case, I have all of these keys are Hall effect and all of these keys are mechanical, but you can do something as simple as just your WASD, spacebar, shift, whatever you normally use for your Hall effect, where you need to have that level of fine tuning. And then have everything else mechanical if you want. Now, I still think that these might be better sounding. These are a little bit deeper, but a little bit more plastic. So, you know, going back to one of my original premises for the day, and that is comparing the same switch Hall effect version versus mechanical. There's definitely differences, obviously, but depending on the implementation, won't make a difference. So won't make a matter. Yeah, coffee. All right, done my coffee. So now it's just keyboards. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and we are gonna put that back off for the moment, and we are going to take our keycaps off. I'm gonna run and grab ZX. Love this keycap puller. By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's right there. If you want to purchase anything from Unikeys, please visit my beacons And you can see my affiliate links. That includes things like Divinity, if you want to buy the Craze, or if you wanted to buy any of these, or any of the Unikey switches. And there's some really great ones out there right now, including, as far as switches go, Divinity has the Saru V2s, which are tactile, but like a linear hybrid. We looked at it last week, which I love. And then the new, both Unikeys and Divinity have the caramel pudding switches with the new waffle stem bottoms. All right, this is all good. I will be right back as I go ahead and grab those keycaps, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so here is GMK VX. This is an R5 keycap set, which is why it works well on, or is nice for the 75%, because it means that we get to use the we get to use our R5 keycaps, which are taller than your normal R4 keycaps, which normally on a cherry set, your R4, which is this row and this row, but on here you have R5 for the top, and this row is different, being R4, obviously. By the way, ZX, which was available through Drop, since Drop is no longer a thing, I don't know that this set is available anymore. So, You may only be able to get it on the aftermarket now. Yep, rip drop, rip drop. Murdered by Corsair. And then, not unlike one of those, the fungus, zombie fungus, you know, Corsair has taken some of the pieces and just kind of wearing around like an Egger suit. So this also has an R0 row, similar to the R5 row, the R0 row, not that one. The R0 row is slightly more angled than your R1 row, because normally this and this would be R1, but so now you have an R0, which angles up a little bit more. So the curve is actually supposed to be better for your hands, but does require a little bit of getting used to. That's all of our top row stuff, I think. Oh no. Let's see. So we need a... What do we need? We do not need you. Nope. We need you. Yeah, looks right. Nope, I think I had it wrongish. Wrongish. I had it rightish in the first place. Okay. You go here. You go here. You go here. And then we have our arrows. Obviously, since there is an R5 and an R0, that does change the keycaps that you have available to you. So you have a bunch of R5s options as well as the R4 options for things like delete and stuff. It was actually a really well built set. Morning, Cheeky Bean. What's going on? I'm excited for today. Can't wait to see your printed keyboard if you're bringing it. But here we go. This is there's our cool lighting. Let's see if I can get it to doing this so that you can kind of see the crystal pattern that is not coming through because the light is so bright. Yes, you are just in time for our sound test. So it's kind of funny. These are different colors, whereas actually these keys here are all Hall effect. These are all mechanical. So we have a combination of mechanical and Hall effect on this board because it's TMR. And why not? You can kind of see it a little bit. When you have keys on it that don't have that are not translucent, it is less apparent which ones are the Hall effect. The Hall effect on the Hall effect ones have light diffusers, so their light is brighter, but less apparent on here. So let's go ahead and we are going to pause that, and then here we go. So the spacebar and this shift are also Hall effect, but you can definitely hear the difference in the sound. But when you're typing, it is much less apparent. It was the same with the milky yellows that we did earlier. This is Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz wireless. The 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle is located here underneath one of the feet. So you have some place to keep it. And yeah, so that's nice. And that is a kind of a new design thing that they've been doing. Overall, it's the simple wedge with the accent light on it, and here you can really see that crystal pattern. This module here is removable, and that provides you with 2 additional TMR sockets. It plugs in using these pins on either side. So when you're putting it back in, if you want to, which I do, you just need to be careful. Try to get it to slot in the way it should be, and then it will click into place, and you're back in business for a knob. So I like that. It gives you additional choices. Now we are currently on USB, so we're actually going to plug it into the USB, which is here. We're now plugged in, so we should be able to use our software. Let's see if our software is going to work. I might have to update my driver. It's not seeing it. Let's go. Oh, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Every follow is sacred. Never mind. We're not going to go there. There's a Monty Python song, guys. Go look it up. About things being sacred. But we're going to look here for our software. Yeah. crystal style brilliance. Oh, good. Actually, it says plug and play and web software, but I don't see the web software. So, yeah. If you were going to put web software, where would you put it? Read more. Nope, it wants me to download a new version of their software. It is not, and there is a very good reason for that. It is because I haven't found any Hall Effect keyboard that is via QMK Vial supported yet, because the QMK does not support the Hall Effect standard. I will say ZMK is working on it. Pete has been working on it a little bit when he can. He has life, so that is a thing, but let's go ahead and we are gonna window capture, add source, add source, add source, Epomaker driver, done. Okay. It is initializing our device. So this is the downloadable software. I imagine that the web-based software is going to be similar. We're going to go to our magnetic switch settings. It does have selectable polling rates, which is good because I cranked mine down to 2000. So we need to select. And they make it pretty easy to select, but okay. So this does not have their own switches on here, or B, does not have the mechanical switches on here. So I'll mention this to them because it's two very important things, I would say. So we're going to cancel our selection. We don't need to worry about that. Your function layer is blocked out for several system keys, which I don't like. No, 2K polling is not possible on Bluetooth. Bluetooth is 125 hertz, pretty much locked. This does 2K on USB. It will do up to 1K on the 2.4. It could theoretically do more, but I don't think it does. Let's do that. Let's go back here. It will tell us. Oh no, it will do up to 8 8,000 hertz polling on 2.4. So if you use your dongle, you can get up to 8,000. Like I said, 125 on Bluetooth because that's the standard. You lose a decent chunk of latency on the 2.4, but I mean, decent chunk would be relative because 0.1 versus 0.58. I mean, come on. Again, this would not matter for a gamer like myself. And then the 15 milliseconds for, so significantly higher for Bluetooth. But certainly usable for your casual, like dropping into games. But if you're trying to run ladders or something, then I would suggest being on either one of these. You can crank your hertz up and get your all, you know. And it's a 128,000 hertz scan rate. Overall, it's just under a kilogram. So it's got some weight to it, but it's not super heavy. Certainly it's portable, and with the wireless option, that makes it even more attractive if you're going to be going to, I don't even know, do people even do LAN parties anymore? It's got a 19 millimeter front height. So that's nice. So well within the acceptable Alex Otis front height option there. Here's the specs on the Creamy Jade Hall effect switches. So the initial force is 30, bottom out force is 55. So pretty much that sweet spot for me of a, depending on where you put your actuation point at, you can, like if you put it at your standard 2 millimeters, then you're going to get probably around 45 grams for an actuation force. I usually run mine lighter or higher, so like 1.2 millimeters, which, you know, we can go look at. Now, the other thing that we're going to look at real quick, Epomaker is accessories, gaming mice. So this is currently sold out, but I expect it to be back in stock, and I expect it not to cost $9,999.99. That's great, huh? When they sent this mouse to me, which is the mouse that I'm currently using, we unboxed this at the beginning of the stream. Oh, yep, I'll see you at the meet later. Cool. And yeah, so when I got the invoice for it, it actually says $9,999, and then they zeroed it out. I'm like, wow, that's an expensive mouse. And view details. Yes, it'll take me here. I guess if somebody wants it that bad, they can have it at $9,000. So they use a new online driver for the wire for the mouse, which is cool. I'm curious as to whether or not the TMR keyboard will also come up. Let's see. No. Okay. So we're going to go with the Next Pro. Here's our mouse. I've already set this down to 2,000 hertz polling rate. But you can crank this up to 8,000 hertz if you want. And I think I have my, yeah, I've set to 17. Let's go to 1,800. It's just super simple. Set macros. This we're going to just use all the battery. One thing that's kind of neat is you can set the angle. You can also set your set it to long distance mode, which is cool. Not that you like if you're going to be using it in a conference room setting. You can set your different sensors. There's one more thing on here that I saw. Oh, actually, I think it was. This is the Nex Pro by Epomaker. It is a new mouse that's coming out. Again, I don't have a price because the price that it's showing up as is $9,999.99. I expect it to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $80, $90. It has a 3950 paw sensor, so its biggest drawback is the fact that it is a 65-gram mouse. So it's heavier than most of the gaming mice on the market at this price point slash. Oh, I was looking for this. The Omron optical switches. So these are optical switches, which is nice. Which is probably the biggest difference between this and my Ajaz AJ159. Is that my AJ159 has mechanical switches on it. But it's nice. You get extra slides. You have these foam pieces that allow you to not mess up your plastic. That might be why they're not available yet. So that means I have an even cooler mouse than I thought I did, because I didn't know that. But yeah. There's a light version of the same mouse, the Nex Lite, which has a lesser 3311 sensor. I don't know what switches are in that. Yeah, that has just regular mechanical switches in it, but does use the online driver as well. There was somewhere in here that I saw that had like a lift distance, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you could set it up to 42,000 DPI. I don't think I need that. Oh, yeah, here it is. The lift distance. This is what I was looking for. It was here the whole time. So you can set it so that it's, which I'm going to do. So if we set this, I'm going crazy. All right, I need to set that back down. What about 3200? That's actually 3200 is good. 8,000. Actually, 8,000 is good with the 20,000. It might be too much. But you can do it in 50. So let's go to 6,000. 6,400. How about that? Oh yeah, there's the sweet spot. That's a good movement. I like being able to get around the screen quickly, but I need to retain control. You know, it's kind of a delicate balance. Oh, hey, did I modify my... Oh, I'm modifying that. Oh, let's not do that. Let's put this back at 8. Oh, well, I guess I am going to modify. Because 8 is too much. 6,400 was nice though. We'll stick with that for a little bit. See how I like it. This gives me a good combination of control, especially with the 20,000. Frames per second scanning rate, which we'll see how much power that uses. Because one of my big problems is it would jump. Which is funny because, I mean, the only first-person shooting that I'm using this for is Rust. So this sweet setup is going to be you playing Rust. Yep. Not Valorant. No. Not, you know, fork knife. Yeah. Just Rust. As a matter of fact, I gotta go in and see if I can go through the jungle and not get eaten by panthers again. I actually haven't been eaten by a panther in this entire time yet so far. Today could be the day though. So is there anything else that anybody wants to see? Any questions? Before I wrap it up. Yeah, well, I still don't have a gun, so I'm running around with like a machete and a compound bow, and that's what I got. So, but I, you know, in a jungle setting, they have the jungle trees. You can chop them down and they become roots, and then they'll grow back. So like I have a bunch of jungle trees around my base, and so everything, because I just build. It's not like I'm going out and killing, and it's not like I'm being raided by the other players. It's a lock server, so yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna build a tower so that if anybody wants to visit me, they can land on a helipad at the top. That is my next goal before the wipe. I think the next wipe they are going to be doing PvP, which means I may skip it. Because really I just like building stuff in Rust. I don't really like the shooting. I like the PvE where I get eaten by bears and panthers and alligators and boars and what have you. It's frustrating sometimes, but that adds challenge. But for a lot of these games, these survival games where people can raid other people, if you don't log in constantly, or if you don't have a team that logs in constantly, it's just a numbers game. Somebody could walk up to my base with a rock and just spend days beating a rock against my door, and eventually they're going to get in. And then they can murder me and take all my stuff. And that's no fun. So that's kind of my problem with that. So I keep getting a refresh control on here. Ooh, the sea salts are nice if you are looking for a very quiet experience. I know that I'll catch a bunch of crap for it, but I find that the sea salt Epomaker switches are very like the I find that they feel to me like taupe. And when I say that, I mean like AE Board's Navy's taupe versions, like the MX taupe version. Not true domes, which, you know, are different depending on how you build it up. Leobog Reapers. I like Reapers. They're probably some of the best they're probably some of the best Leobog switches on the market, and I think everybody generally agrees with that. However, as much as I want to love Leobog switches, I don't. I think that the Creamy Jade switches, these, are better than the Reaper switches. I think they sound better. I think they feel better. So take that for what you will. If you consider them, you can get these on Amazon for like 20 bucks for 100. So try the Reapers. If you don't like them as much, try the Creamy Jades. Yeah, but that's the stream, everybody. I want to thank everybody for showing up. And if you're in the Colorado area, we are having a meetup today at localhost in Lakewood. So stop out. I will have this board as well as I think 13 other keyboards that I'll be showing off, including my entire Mellatrix collection. So that includes the Zoom 64. Oh, and this. I haven't told any of the local meetup people about this yet, but I'm bringing this. It's pretty fun. Let me show you. This is a project I've been working on for a little bit. And I have one more thing I need to do to it to make it finalized, which is to put in some foam or something in the case. But this is my Cyber deck, my Steam Cyber deck. So combined with the mouse, not this mouse, you can go on your dock. I said you can go on your dock. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So you flip this up, so you got your vents here, power button. Now, currently, if I do this wrong, my Steam Deck will fall forward. So I have to be careful. But switch that to Bluetooth. Switch this to on and Bluetooths. And then, yeah, I can do this. Switch to desktop. I don't know if I have this set to appear in the desktop. I don't know if it'll actually automatically connect in the desktop. This will. Yeah, there you go. So and then we can do should be connected. Nope, it was connected. It says it's connected. Weird. Is it hitting on something? I'll need to figure this out beforehand. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm digging it. I 3D printed the case. The K3 Keychron K3 just kind of fits in here, locks in place with this, and then I have a whole just thing that I can set up and carry around with me. I'm gonna put I'm thinking cork on the insides to kind of bracket it. It'll kind of lock the Steam Deck in place a little bit more, plus it'll give it a cushion so that it's not rubbing directly up against the 3D printed plastic. But yeah, it's cool. If I can get this keyboard to work right. I mean, it is obviously working in some capacity. Yeah. I don't know why it's not working in Chrome. That's weird. I could. As a matter of fact, oh, I should do that. Oh, we have some fine ass TPU that we accidentally bought, and we meant to buy PLA, and we bought a bunch of TPU instead. And yeah, I should do that. It's like a sheet, so I should be able to just do. Oh, that's such a great idea, Klex. Thanks, man. I don't know if I can do it before the meetup since it's already 9:30 a.m. That is awesome. All right, now I have a plan. All right. Can't update Chrome. Reinstall Chrome. Or update Chrome. Or something. Anyway. Yeah. I'll shut this down for now, actually. And we'll wrap up the stream. But yeah, what do y'all think? I think this is really neat. When I saw it, I waited to find a good price on the K3, which this is specifically designed to work with. And then again, you have to close it like this. Put your, oh wait, sorry, gotta put this in. Because it flaps underneath so that that stays in place. And then this flaps down. Switch this to off. So you're not using your battery. And again, self-contained unit. Even without the TPU insert, it is stable. And I've got my little silicone mouse. If you haven't seen this, this is from Womier. And it's a nice little mouse. It has a dongle that you could use, not on this, because obviously the Steam Deck only has one USB-C slot. But Bluetooth, you know, it works. I mean, you're not going to be doing any hardcore gaming on a Steam Deck because of latency and stuff, but yeah. Let's see, is anybody streaming yet this morning? Awesome. By the way, if anybody has any Amazon subs you want to give me, that would be great. Give me your Bezos bucks. I love it. Let's see. Does anybody know if anybody is streaming right now? Ooh, we have one. D3 SMO is streaming. So we'll go raid him. Oh no, it's D3 SMO. All right. Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all next weekend. I've got some other cool stuff that's coming up. And we'll be rebuilding the Zoom 64, going back and forth, kind of showing you how the modules switch out. And yeah, thanks for sharing this time with me. Let me know what you think in Discord, and till next time, keep building, everybody.